What is going on, guys? Welcome to my channel Carnivore Beast. So this week I'm going to be talking about the top 5 questions that I get asked on the carnivore diet. So before we do get into that, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you do like this video, hit that like button as well. Share with any friends, families, work colleagues, anyone who you think would enjoy this video or get something out of it as well. Also, I'd be interested to know what questions you may have for me as well. So please throw some of those in the comments below and I will respond to all of my messages as well. So get chatting down there and I will send you my responses to your questions. Also as well, if you have any answers for the questions that I've raised in this video as well, anything that you may have said differently, anything that you would do differently as well, put that in the comments below. So I'd love to hear what you've got to say as well. So without further ado, let's get to the meat of the video. So question number 1 I commonly get asked on the carnivore diet is, so you only eat meat? And the answer is yes, and eggs as well, but meat and eggs is all that I eat. And the reason is because those foods are incredibly nutrient dense. I get everything I need from just meat and eggs. I did used to eat dairy on the carnivore diet, but I gave that up back in May. If you haven't already watched my video, I will link that above about why I quit dairy, so check that out, and you can see why I decided to quit dairy. But just looking at sort of how nutrient dense they are, like just let's go with the eggs to begin with. They are incredibly bioavailable of vitamin A, vitamin D, B6, B12, and they're also rich in calcium, iron, magnesium, potassium as well. So all those things that my body needs, I can get from eating eggs. And I eat a lot of eggs throughout the day. On average, I have 5 for breakfast. I usually maybe add 1 or 2 in with my lunch. I might have some in with my dinner as well. So there's quite a few eggs I'm going through throughout the day. And looking at the meat side of things as well. So for example, a meat I eat quite regularly is ribeye. And again, that's got calcium in it, not a high amount, but still a significant amount for the body. Vitamin D, again, B12, B6, again with iron, magnesium, potassium. So I'm getting all of those things that my body needs within these sort of foods as well. So yes, to answer the question, the only thing that I eat is meat and eggs. So the other great thing about only eating meat and eggs as well is I haven't really got to think about what I'm going to eat. I'm eating either meat or eggs, and meal preparation has just become so simple since changing just to meat and egg diet. I've also become fairly creative with different sort of recipes. So I've made like a carnivore sauce, as I call it, with egg yolk and some butter and that, and it's absolutely delicious. Using pork rind as a flour sometimes, making sort of waffles just from egg yolk as well, ice cream, like becoming very creative and looking at these different recipes as well. So yeah, it's just great to try these different ways of eating. So question number 2 of the common questions that I get asked on the carnivore diet is, don't you get bored of just eating meat and eggs? And my answer to that is no. There is an abundance of different types of meat and eggs out there. So I've already explained before how the different ways I've cooked, making sauces, making all sorts of different other recipes using those ingredients. But just to look at the sort of meat side of things, you've got beef, pork, chicken, duck, venison, fish, you've got shellfish. And then to break those down, so if we look at beef, you've got steak, you've got mince, you've got joint, burgers, there's so many different things, meatballs that you can do. That's just with beef. Pork again, you've got mince again, you've got a joint, bacon, sausages, chops, crackling as well using the skin. Chicken as well, you've got the whole chicken, or you can break it down. So you've got the wings, you've got the thighs, the drumsticks, the breast. And with all the above meats I've already mentioned, you've got the organ meats as well, so the liver, the kidney, the heart. If you enjoy the flavour of that, give it a go as well. If you don't, then there's recipes out there that you can sort of get them into your diet without really tasting it as well. So check those out. I try and have as much seafood as I can. I don't eat a hell of a lot of it, but I do get some into my diet. So just tonight I had steak with some prawns, so did my own sort of surf and turf, really tasty. So and just going back to that original question when it says don't you get bored, well no, because food isn't meant to entertain me, it's meant to fuel me. So I go to food when I need to be fueled. I do a lot of working out, I go to the gym, so my body needs those nutrients, needs the proteins, needs the fats, so I can carry on and repair my body as well. So that's why I go to food. I don't go to food to entertain myself. That should only be done on rare occasions, and I do that, and I don't sort of take that out of my life at all, but I only put it to those rare occasions where it is an indulgence at that time, and then as soon as that indulgence is over, it's finished. So do I get bored of eating carnivore diet? No. So question number 3 that I get asked quite frequently is, well, what about your fibre intake? What about your vitamin C intake? My response to that is, what about them? See, when you are on a carnivore diet, you don't require the high levels of fibre and vitamin C that you do when you're eating a sort of standard Western diet. So let's look at fibre to begin with. Fibre is used to break down sugars, and I don't really consume sugars within my diet. Within meat and eggs, there's very, very little sugars. So I don't need that fibre there to break any of those sugars down because it's just not required. So if I were to be eating fibre on this sort of diet, just fibre, it would be wasted. So I always get asked, like, well, if you don't eat fibre, then going to the toilet must not be a pleasant experience, and that can be further from the truth at all. I have no issue going to the toilet. My visits to the toilet have never been better and more infrequent. So, and what I mean by that, and it's not a bad thing, is that I probably go once a day, and that's about it. And that's all you need to go, because I'm not wasting anything now. My body is not getting rid of it because it doesn't need it. It's holding on to the things it needs, and that's a good thing. My body's doing what it should be doing. So, fibre in my diet, I don't need it at all. Now let's look at the vitamin C side of things. So on a standard Western diet, they say that we only really need to consume about 10 milligrams of vitamin C, which is quite a small amount. And again, that is really just help with your insulin levels. Now, because I'm not getting those insulin spikes anymore, because I'm on a sort of high-fat carnivore diet where my energy levels sort of stay throughout the day level, I don't need that vitamin C to help with those insulin spikes throughout the day. And also as well, contrary to popular belief, meat does hold a small amount of vitamin C within it, and the vitamin C it has within it is sufficient for what I need it for. So if I do get those spikes, sometimes you can get that from certain foods, certain meats or eggs. If I do get that, then I do get that small amount of vitamin C from the meats within my diet. So what about fibre or vitamin C? What about them? So question number 4 that I get asked quite frequently on the carnivore diet is, isn't it expensive? My answer to this, that it can be, but you can make it cheap. So if you haven't already seen my video, I will link it above again, and I try and just go through things to try and help you get the diet much cheaper. It can be expensive, but you just got to keep an eye out for those deals. There are a lot of reductions within supermarkets, so keep your eye out for those yellow labels in the supermarket and stock up. you see any deals like 2 for £6, 2 for whatever, a big box of steaks that are being sold off, get them and freeze them, and then just prepare your meals, know what you're going to have those days, and defrost them in time for you to eat. It's all about planning with this, and when you see those bargains, go for them as well. Even if it's only 50p off or £1 off, go for them, because it's savings in your pocket at the end of the day, and you are fueling your body. Organ meats as well are very cheap, so have a look at those. See if there's a way that you can get them into your diet somehow, even if you're not a fan of them. So look and see if there's a way that you can blend them into something, add them to your burgers that you're making at home. I made a ox cheek and kidney stew recently with just ox cheek, kidney and some broth, and it was absolutely delicious. Really tasty meal, fully nutritious. I cooked it in the slow cooker, so throughout the day it's just all those nutrients are staying within that bowl. So have a look at that. Another way to make the carnivore diet inexpensive is eggs. As I spoke before, obviously I eat just meat and eggs are a big staple of my diet. Thankfully they're extremely cheap. I can get 30 for £3.50 from my local supermarket, Morrison's, which works out roughly around 11 pence per egg. That's not bad at all. That's pretty cheap superfood there. Highly nutritious, bioavailable, full of vitamins and minerals. Now, I always ensure that the eggs that I get are free range, so I would say for yourself that would be my biggest tip, even if you have to spend a slightly more just to get those free range eggs. That chicken's had a better quality of life, is going to produce a better quality egg as well. So get yourself those free range eggs. Now, Morrison's, where I do shop, all of their eggs are free range, so go give them a check out. Even the cheapest eggs are free range, so you can't go wrong there. So to go to the question, isn't it expensive? My answer is it can be, however, it can be made affordable. Okay, now question number 5 is, aren't you always hungry? And my answer to that is no, I'm not. In fact, I am the least hungriest I've ever been. So eating meat and eggs is incredibly satiating. It's higher in fat, higher in protein, which fills you up very quickly. So you don't need to eat a lot because you are filled up. Also, that hunger sort of feeling is your body telling you it needs more. And it needs more minerals, it needs to be fueled, it needs more vitamins that it's not got from in the past sort of processed foods. That's why you get hungry when you eat some processed foods, because you still need to eat in order to get the required vitamins and minerals. Now, because I'm eating a very nutrient-dense diet, I don't need to eat a lot of food because I've already got it, and it's all bioavailable in the foods that I eat. So I don't get hungry that often at all. If I do get hungry, I eat. I think that's the main thing to look at. So I don't starve myself or anything like that. I eat when I'm hungry, and I don't eat when I'm not. I don't force myself to eat. So to answer the question, aren't you always hungry? The answer is no, I'm not. Okay, so those were my 5 frequently asked questions whilst I've been on the carnivore diet. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please hit that like button. Also as well, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe as well. I really appreciate it when you do. Share this as well, share it with any friends, family, anybody who you think may be interested in this, or somebody you may know who's considering going on the carnivore diet, who may have similar questions. Also, if you do have questions that I haven't asked on here and you want an answer to them, please throw that down in the comments section below. I will get in touch with you, I will answer them as much as I can. Now, bear in mind that everything that I've said throughout this is my opinion and it's my experiences, so none of it's medical, none of it's got any, I'm not a doctor, so please bear that in mind. It's my experiences. So, and if you do ask me a question, it'll be from my experience or sort of my own research that I've done that I will give you the answer from. Also as well, if you've got maybe a different answer to one of the questions that I have answered here, then please throw that comment down below as well. I'd love to hear other sides of the argument, other sort of responses that people would give. So I'd love to hear that, put that in the comments below. So once again, thank you so much for joining me again today. Really appreciate you coming here with me, and looking forward to seeing you next time.